Nänabushu and the Fish Trap by Marie Syrette. Read by Frank Blissett. Once on a time, they say that Nänabushu and his grandmother were abiding there. And so they say that she said to her grandson, "My grandson," she said to him, "over there, hard by, is a river, and it was there your uncles of old used to set fish traps," she said to him. Now Nanabushu, so far as he was concerned, had nothing to say. His only occupation was always hunting for game and bringing something home. And very lucky, too, was Nänabushu at getting game, to judge from his fame in story. Now, once on a time, they say that while they were living there, he remembered what his grandmother had said to him about going to catch fish with the fish trap at the rapids. Thereupon Nänabushu thought, "Quite so. That is what my grandmother had told me, that I should go to catch fish with the fish trap. Perhaps my grandmother may have grown tired of always eating meat," thought Nänabushu. "Now fish she probably wants to eat," he thought. Thereupon he said to her, "My grandmother, you remember what you told me about catching fish with a fish trap?" "Yes," said the old woman. "It was at yonder rapids where your uncles of old used to fish with a fish trap," she said to him. "Oh, great indeed was the number of fishes they used to kill," he was told by his grandmother. And then truly did Nänabushu begin making his fish traps. Huge logs he carried on his shoulders, and from afar he carried them on his back, for he wanted to make his traps strong. And then, after he had finished them, he notified his grandmother, and this he said to her, "There, my grandmother, I have finished the fish traps, and now some fish will you eat?" He thus said to his grandmother. "Ay," said the old woman. So then in the morning Nänabushu went to see his fish traps, and many the fish that were drawn into them. Thereupon Nänabushu went back home, carrying them along. And as he was drawing near, Nänabushu went along, saying, "O my grandmother, many fish have I killed," he said. Thereupon truly was the old woman highly pleased. And so, while they remained there, many fishes Nänabushu slew. And now, once on a time, while he was out hunting for fish at his traps, he heard the approaching sound of some creature. The sound it uttered was, "Do-do-do, do-do-do." Up Nänabushu looked. He listened for it, for he wanted to be sure of what was making the noise. And while he listened for it, suddenly he heard it very close. "Chick, chick, chick." And then again the same, "Do-do-do, do-do-do." Thereupon Nänabushu quickly gathered up his fishes and started running. And on the way Nänabushu went slipping on the logs and knocking off the bark. On the way home he ran, and said as he was arriving, "Oh, my grandmother, I hear something." How did it sound? "Do-do-do, do-do-do," was the way it sounded, he said to her. And then said the old woman, "Why, a Canada jay is what your uncles of old used to call it," she said to him. That it wanted to eat and was begging of you to feed it was why it cried out in that way. Feed it some fish, she said to him. Thereupon, truly, Nanabushu took the fishes and threw part of them towards the place where he had heard the sound. And when, on the next day, Nanabushu went to look after his fish trap, he then again heard the sound of some creature. And after flinging the fish towards the place where he heard the sound, he recalled what was told him by his grandmother on the day before. He did not find it necessary to run on his way back home. And so again, when he went back, he went and said to his grandmother, "Something again I heard making a noise. On the ground was where it sounded." Thereupon he was told, "Why, a mink was what your uncles of old used to call it. Did you feed it?" "Yes," said Nanabushu. "That was proper," he was told by his grandmother. "Oh, my grandson," he was told, "by many creatures, by the little animal folk, shall we be visited, and you shall always give them food to eat," she said to him. "They will ask you to feed them, for they themselves are also anxious for food." Thereupon they say that Nanabushu went again to look after his fish trap. Many indeed were the fishes he slew, and the old woman herself was busy smoking them on the rack. Every nook and corner inside of their home she filled, and she also hung them up out of doors. Quite full were the drying racks of all the fishes that he had killed. And once they say that while they were living there, again Nanabushu heard something making a noise as it approached, as it came, and it made the sound, "Ko-ko-ko-hoo! Ko-ko-ko-hoo!" As Nanabushu fetched more fish, he again went slipping over the logs along his course. And so again he went and said to his grandmother, "Oh, my grandmother, something I heard." Said the old woman, "How did it sound?" And then Nanabushu mocked the cry, "Ko-ko-ko-hoo! Ko-ko-ko-hoo!" "Oh," said the old woman, "an owl was what your uncles of old used to call it. Give it food," she said to him. And then truly Nanabushu took up some fish. At the same time he was trembling with fear. And so he flung them over in the direction where he had heard the sound. "Here, my grandfather!" Thereupon back home again he went. And so on the next day he went to look after his fish traps. And while he was at work again gathering the fish, he heard something again uttering a sound. And now, as Nanabushu listened again, was the sound he heard. Thereupon again more were the fish he fetched. Starting to run again he went, saying to his grandmother, "Oh, my grandmother, something again do I hear." "What sort of a noise did it make, my grandson?" she said. Was the sound it made. "Why," said the old woman, "a fine, soft-feathered owl was what your uncles of old called it. It wants to eat. Go feed it," she said to him. And so again, as Nanabushu with fear went and took some fish, he threw them where he had heard the sound. And then on the following morning again he went to look after his fish trap. While gathering the fish, again he heard another sound. Nanabushu stood up with a sudden start, and so brought himself to his full stature. And then again he heard the sound of some creature screaming out, "Ha ha 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 ha!" Oh, how Nanabushu started running. Speedily more of his fish he fetched. Coming home on the run, he said to his grandmother, "Oh, my grandmother, something do I hear, a manitou." "How did it sound, my grandson?" "Ha ha 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 ha," was the way it sounded. "Why, my grandson, now we are going to die," she said to her grandson. "Be quick, my grandmother, get ready, let us be off," he said to her. And then truly the old woman trembled by reason of age and fear. And so hastily was Nanabushu now going to carry his grandmother upon his back. Thereupon he said to her, "Come, let me carry you upon my back," he said to her. And so that was what truly happened. And then she said to her grandson, "Oh, my dried fish!" "Never mind, don't bother about them." Again the old woman said, "Oh, my grandson, my tobacco pouch am I forgetting." Thereupon truly back Nanabushu hurried, as he went and seized his grandmother's tobacco pouch. Even though Nanabushu put as much as he could carry upon his back, yet there on the top of his burden he placed his grandmother. Thereupon he started to run, leaving behind his fish traps. Now as Nanabushu started, he began singing. It so happened that an agreement had been entered into among the various creatures, as many as there were that used fish for food. Therefore the first one employed to go scare Nanabushu was the Canada jay. Now his grandmother knew who they were, and for that reason Nanabushu was not frightened at first. Then afterwards some others that were different were employed, but they did not frighten Nanabushu. Thereupon some others were next employed, and the one that came last was the screech owl, by whom Nanabushu was frightened. And on account of that one he left behind his fish trap. Thereupon all the various little animal folk enjoyed the fruits of the labor of Nanabushu and his grandmother by eating the food there. That was Nanabushu and the Fish Trap by Marie Syrette. Read by Frank Blissett.